team. I'm Christine. Welcome to ParanormalTV if you're new, and welcome back if you're not. Today we are doing a different kind of video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the weird shit my high school made us do. And it's some weird things. I went to a public high school, and in a public high school, I feel like certain rules definitely are a lot easier to bend and get away with. And I have known other people who have gone to public high school who have never had any of these weird things that their school made them do. I don't know if the school practices these things. These things are very weird and kind of like backwards thinking. I feel like it's very, some of the things are very outdated in their beliefs, and some of the things are just outright very strange. I asked you guys on Twitter if you wanted to see this, and several of you said yes. I was just randomly thinking about it the other day, and I was like, yo, that was so strange. I just want to tell the world the weird things my high school made me do. And if you went to high school with me, because there are a few people who went to high school with me that follow me on Instagram, so if you went to high school with me, let me know if you remember this. Let me know if you were in my class. I don't know if some of these were just my class that did it, or if every class, every like health class or whatever class it may have been, did it. The first thing I want to talk about happened in 9th grade. I was a freshman, obviously, but I feel like they did this with the freshmen because the freshmen are a little more, I guess, naive as to how the school works because they're new. They don't know. We were in health class, and I feel like when you're in health class, they either address sex or they don't. And if they address sex, I feel like most of the time it's education, right? No, not in my school's case. They actually made us sign a contract or affidavit, whatever you want to say, statement, whatever, stating that we would not have sex until we were 18 years old. Like, what? What? First of all, you cannot make people sign a contract on when they are not going to have sex. This is not a cult. This is not a nunnery. Like, if somebody is 15 and they want to have sex, they will have sex. Whether you think they're ready or not is a different story. Whether I think they're ready or not is a different story. Everyone is different. We're not going to shame anyone here about when people have lost their virginity. If you're 40 and still have your virginity, who cares? You know what I mean? Who cares? But I feel like in school, if you're going to talk about sex at all, it should be an educational topic. You should give somebody sex ed, not try to force them into not having sex before they're 18. And the funny thing to me is, well, when you're an 18, you're an adult, you'll be graduating, and we won't have to deal with you, so have as many babies as you want at 18. What? Like, I don't know. I do not know. The really strange thing is, in my school, I felt like there was a very high rate of teenage pregnancies. I knew about 10 girls that got pregnant that I personally knew, and then there were more that I did not know that I just, saw walking the hallways, and clearly they were pregnant. But I feel like that kind of made them want to do it more. I feel like it had the opposite effect on these women, these young women, I should say, because it clearly wasn't working for them, like, it was not working. And it kind of gave them something to rebel against, I guess. Maybe if they had proper education, they would be less inclined to have unsafe sex. But the really, really strange thing about this was that if you wanted free condoms, the school gave it to you. Can you make up your mind? Can you make up your mind? What do you want to put out there? What is the message? I don't understand. Like, that is so contradictory. Yes, they might do it. So here's protection. Okay, I get that. I get it. But it was just such a weird contradiction to what they had us sign in health class, you know? So the second strange thing that they had us do, and the thing that really pissed me off in school, was they tried to force us to pee in a cup to see if we had any STDs. That pissed me off because it wasn't a service that they were offering, you know what I mean? It wasn't something that they were offering in private, like, hey, you can come to the nurse's office after class and get a test. It was in front of everyone in the, I think, 9th grade. I think it was only 9th grade that they had to do this. I'm not positive, but it was a long time ago. So they put us on an auditorium and they told us we had to go get tested to see if we had an STD. And, you know, when you're that young, you care a little bit more what people think of you. And honestly, I was not having sex in 9th grade. So I knew I was clean. I knew. And people definitely looked at you differently if you actually did it. People would whisper about you. Oh, you need to go pee. And, like, you shouldn't shame anyone for what they do or do not do. But there was definitely some people being shamed. And I remember when they gave me the cup, there were several girls who said something to me. And I was really pissed off in that moment because I was like, oh my gosh, these girls think that I'm a slut, you know, which is so stupid because... And I remember when they had said something to me, I felt really bad about myself and the way people were viewing me, which is awful, but I did. And I also knew I was a virgin, so I was like, I don't have anything. I'm not taking this test. And I had told them, I know that I do not have an STD, I don't need to take this test. And they're like, well, you don't know that, so you should take it. And I was so mad in this particular moment because I should not have to tell you whether or not I'm a virgin in front of a bunch of people. I just should not. That is not your business. That is not their business. So excuse you for being so rude, but I'm not taking this test. So I remember just telling them, well, I don't fucking need it. And I threw the test in their bag of other pee cups. And I walked out of school. I left school and I went home. Livid. My mom was livid that this had happened. And I just thought it was very shaming of the school and the most part. I mean, there were girls that were shaming other girls for it. And then there were girls who weren't. I feel like there were more girls who weren't. But of course you're paying attention to those few girls that are shaming you. But the biggest part was I felt like the school was shaming us. I felt like the school was trying to make us feel bad about ourselves and about our decisions. And I feel like the school was like outing people. Like if someone doesn't want to reveal if they had sex or not, they shouldn't have to. And you know, I think it would be a great service to offer in privacy. You know what I mean? Like go to the nurse after school or after class or at lunch or something. Go to the nurse on your free time if you are worried about it, and have them have a program set up that way than having a bunch of girls congregate in, oh, mind you, it was only the girls, but you know, screw the boys, like, oh, backwards thinking it's like 1800s, right? They just had a bunch of girls congregate in the auditorium, and all of us were told that we needed this. It made a lot of people feel bad about themselves. And you know what? I felt bad for the girls who were really worried about it because it was revealed, you know what I mean? Like, they should not have to worry about this in front of everyone. They should, like, in front of the whole 9th grade class. They shouldn't have to. This should be a private matter that they can deal with. And I just thought it was really messed up on the school's part. So I have one more really strange thing that the school did. This one is less weird than the other two, and it's a little less shameful, but it's still strange, and I don't know really why they thought that they would accomplish anything this way. So the school had us fill out a survey in 11th grade, I want to say this was. It could have been 10th. I think it was 11th, though. And we had to fill out a survey about drugs in the school. Where you could get them. Did we know people that you could get them from? Do we do drugs? Do other people do drugs? Do we drink? Now, this is like a really weird way to go about it. I felt like it was a very stupid way to go about it because no one is going to fess up if they're doing drugs. Nobody is, unless they want help, which I'm sure most people in 11th grade smoking marijuana do not really feel like they want to, you know, get help and that they need help for like, and you know, I get there's harder drugs out there, but not many people are going to tell you they're doing them, and not many people are going to tell you where you can get them, especially because you run the risk of that person finding out, like, oh, not many people know that I'm selling this. You know, though. Of course, no one answered it correctly. And I also, like, it kind of annoyed me that, again, it was like, do you do drugs? Do you do alcohol? Do you smoke marijuana? Do you do this? Can you get drugs here? So I just wrote, I cannot incriminate myself throughout the whole thing. I mean, it was supposed to be anonymous, but still, it's not really anonymous if only a few people know of a person that's selling drugs, because the whole school does not know. If the whole school knew, then the principal would find out, and this person would not be in school selling drugs anymore. You know what I mean? So I just thought it was a very pointless thing. If a few people knew of this one drug dealer in school and they snitched on him or her, it was very, very possible that that one person would be in a lot of trouble. And the one thing I have to say, I went to school in the ghetto, okay? I went to school in the ghetto, whatever. I'm like so used to the neighborhoods that I've lived in and went to school in, so I never really think anything bad of it, but whenever anyone comes from a different state to these neighborhoods with me, like Natasha, for instance, when she went to the neighborhood I grew up in, with me to spend the night, she was freaking out. Literally, a car horn beeped and she like jumped out of her skin. My cousin and her boyfriend came. Did you hear that? Okay. Like music played from somewhere. Anyway, my cousin and her boyfriend came from Kentucky, and they went to the neighborhood that I grew up in with me. We took the bus, and we were going to see my grandparents, and her boyfriend was like, oh my gosh, Christine, you're from here? Yeah. You're from the ghetto. Oh my gosh. Dude, calm down. I have never really been involved in much bad things, I guess. I've never done a lot of bad things in my life. Just not who I am. I try to steer clear of that stuff and try to go down the right road, and I think it's very possible to live in a neighborhood that's not the best, like I have, gone to a school in a neighborhood that's not the best like I have, and still be a decent human being. I really want to stress that my class, my graduating class, was not bad. There were tons of smart kids in there. There were tons of good kids. Yes, there were some bad kids, and yes, there were some drug dealers. And yes, I don't know if I want to say this next thing because it makes the school sound really bad. I'm not going to, because it's kind of like defeating my point. But yes, there were some bad kids, but there were a lot of good kids too. And I feel like the people in charge kind of just saw the neighborhoods that we all were from and assumed that we were all doing things we shouldn't have been doing. But yeah, those are the weird things my school had us do. Did your school have you do anything remotely close to what I experienced, because I don't know anyone else who has been to schools that have made them do things like sign statements that you will not have sex until you're 18. Let me know what weird things your school had you do, if any, and I hope you liked this video. I know it was different, but I will see you in my next one.